Hey guys, it's Jake, and today we're checking out the One Kit Wonder Metal Library by GetGood Drums. So over the past 10 months or so, GetGood Drums have been releasing a series of kits called the One Kit Wonder Kits, with the entire idea behind them being that they're kind of a no-nonsense, plug-and-play, no mixing required, just sound good out of the box drum VST. A lot of the issues that some people have with drum libraries is that they require a bit of work to get sounding the way you want them to, and it can get in the way of creativity sometimes. If you just want an inspiring drum tone to write riffs to, or to use in a demo track, or for content purposes like I do, or anything like that. It's for people that need something that sounds good with little to no effort, that just doesn't stand in the way of them and their creativity. So far, the One Kit Wonder series have kind of mimicked already existing kits, with the Modern Fusion being closer to the Halpern kit, the Aggressive Rock one being pretty close to the Modern and Massive one, and now the Metal one being close to the Invasion kit. This is the biggest drum kit under the One Kit Wonder umbrella, and it sounds pretty distinct from the other two in my opinion, and this kit also does have a few things going for it that the other ones do not. So without further ado, I'm going to jump into Logic and show you guys everything that you get in the One Kit Wonder Metal Library. Alright, so jumping into Logic over here, let's just kind of break down what I have going on the drums real quick. Alright, in case you're wondering, guitar tones are Omega Granophyer binaural DSP, with some washy stuff provided by Archetype Nolly, and the bass is Dark Glass, but you guys aren't here for that stuff, you guys are here for the drums. So I'm trying not to process the drums too much, I'm just trying to give you guys a good idea of how they sound pretty much out of the box. In the mix, I have a compressor going. I have the Shadow Hills mastering compressor on there, and a Mag EQ, which is adding a little bit of 40 for the kick, cutting a little bit of 650, adding a little bit of air around 10K, and boosting around 160 for the snare. And then Shadow Hills is just acting as like a drum bus compressor, making everything gel together a little bit better, making it pump a little bit, that sort of thing. So let me solo the drums, and let me just go to this groove. Turn off the click. So yeah, that's what the drums sound like kind of with my processing on them. So I'll go ahead and turn that stuff off and show you what they sound like. That's the blast, so it's really quiet. All right, so volume notwithstanding, it's really just kind of gluing everything together and adding a little bit of beef in some areas. So let's jump into the plugin really quickly. All right, yeah, look at that. That's kind of hard to look at. Yeah, so you can see the other kits up there that I have. I've done demos for the One Kit Wonder, Modern Fusion, and Aggressive Rock, and now we're getting onto the metal. So it's a pretty decent sized drum kit, especially compared to something like the Aggressive Rock. You're getting 4 toms. You're getting that cool double floor tom thing, which I really like. It's really cool for tom builds and just, you know, aggressive, beefy tom stuff. I don't know. Of course, you got a kick drum. You got a snakeskin snare. The snare is kind of the most different thing for me. I was expecting it to sound a lot closer to some of the snares that you hear in like the Invasion library, but it's actually closer to something that you might find in the Halpern library. It's a pretty good sounding snare. And then we got 2 splashes, 3 crashes, with just kind of 3 different pitches, hi-hats, of course. Got a ride. And then we got the China. These are pasty cymbals, I am pretty sure. And if I had to guess, this would be the pasty Rude Megabell ride, just because Nolly said it was his favorite metal ride and it was a pasty, so I was just thinking that, you know, it makes sense that would be that. But yeah, pretty sizable kit. Yeah, when you play, you kind of see which is going off where. On top of that, you have parallel and master EQ. If you don't know what parallel compression is, essentially what it is you take the drum bus, you send it out to another bus, compress the hell out of it, and mix those two together to kind of just get a more aggressive sounding drum tone. It's something that I do a lot outside of this, and it's cool that it's in the plugin. The master EQ just gets rid of some of the resonances and makes the kit kind of sit more the way it would in a mix after everything. So yeah, with both of them off. All right, let me turn on the parallel. So yeah, you can kind of hear that it just kind of a bit more punchy, a bit more attack heavy, and it just kind of, you know, makes it sound more aggressive. And then master EQ. Just makes it sound more polished, more like how you would expect a finished sounding drum kit to sound. Then down here, there's a mixer button, and you can kind of tweak the tones for all of these a little bit. Usually, the entire point of this is for it to be mix ready, but they do give you some options just that are more preference things. So if you go up here, you can solo each thing. If you want to hear how just one thing sounds, you can mute it if you don't want to hear it in the context of dialing in your drum tones. Then there's a balance, so you can choose how much room, reverb, and overhead and close mic you want for the kick. The snare, same thing. And then same thing with each of the toms, and you can do it to each of the toms individually, and I usually like to keep them pretty similar in how I treat them just because it sounds a little bit better to me, or more consistent rather, but you can adjust it slightly. Then there's the overheads. One thing to note, you don't see faders for things like the shells on here, it's just cymbals. but the room and overhead signals that are being sent from here still are affected by these two faders. So for example, if you have the room really high on the snare and you lower the room down here, then it'll also lower it in the snare and vice versa. Yeah, so you can still kind of adjust levels like that. But yeah, you can adjust how much hat, ride, cymbals, and reverb you want and all that stuff for both the overhead and room. And yeah, that's basically the plugin. You can adjust mappings. They have a pretty cool thing, which is a velocity curve, essentially. And what it does is you can mess with the curve to make it so that hits get harder faster or lighter faster, depending on what you want. And yeah, it's just kind of cool if you tend to program things a certain way and just make it more conducive to your programming style. You can play grooves through this. Just show you one. Yep, you can just play grooves with that. So there's the groove player. So if you have any groove packs, you can do that. And then there's just the about thing. All right, and yeah, that's basically the plugin. All right, so there you guys go. That's everything that you get with the kit. On to my thoughts on the kit. I kind of saw this coming from a while away. It's a little bit different than what I thought it was going to be. I thought it was going to be kind of a bigger kit. Granted, it's not, you know, small by any means. It's definitely bigger than the other two kits and gives you all the options that you would need, with the exception of maybe something like a stack. But other than that, it has most of the pieces that you would need to create, you know, a killer metal sounding mix. I've said this about the other One Kit Wonder stuff, and I'll say it about this one. This really kind of hits the nail on the head of what they were going for, which is just something that, you know, you don't need to think about, something that requires very minimal mixing, and something that, again, just sounds inspiring out of the box and leaves nothing in the way of you and writing your riffs and demoing your things and creating your music. I've had some people ask me if you can use this in like a final mix or it's best for just demoing purposes. I think you can use it in final mixes, especially since they give you the option to route each fader out individually, so you can do some of your own mixing after the fact. You are going to get a bit less variation than you would with something like Invasion, for example, because there's more drums in that and there's less processing on them, which means you can kind of take the raw tones and push them in whichever direction you want to, whereas in this one they kind of already push it in a direction. I like the direction it's going in, and I think that it sounds good and better than what I probably would end up doing with them. But if you are looking for something that, you know, gives you all the flexibility in the world and something that, you know, you can really take and make your own sound that no one else has, I might recommend going with one of the other sample libraries outside of the One Kit Wonder umbrella, just because they give you more flexibility in terms of how you can tweak your tone. So yeah, that about does it for this video. If you're interested in checking out the One Kit Wonder metal library for yourself, I'll leave a link to that down in the description below. They are doing an intro price of, I believe, around $40. They usually do that for about the first month of the kit being out, so if you're interested in it, now's a good time to grab it because it's going to be on sale for a little bit, and you'll save yourself a few bucks. If you like the song that you heard in this video, make sure you follow my band in the description down below as well. We have some new music coming out very soon, and yeah, I'm excited about it, and hopefully you guys enjoy that too whenever that ends up coming out. If you want to follow me, I'll leave a link to my social media down in the description below. If you have any questions, comments, anything like that, leave them in the comments down below. I read all my comments and I get back to people if they have any questions, and you can also DM me on Instagram if you have any questions there either. And yeah, of course, as always, if you like this video, you can subscribe for more content, share this video with your friends, all that YouTuber bullshit. Yeah, I've got some more videos in the works, some different things that I'm trying out, and hopefully you guys like them. So yeah, until next time, guys, have a good one.